Yes guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to another YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to go over my top 10 tips on how to stay in shape without a gym. Welcome. If you are a new subscriber, welcome to my channel. Hope you enjoyed today's video. And of course, if you have seen one of my videos before in the past, welcome back. Before I go into my top 10 tips on how to stay in shape without a gym, I just want to go over 2 points. The very first one is understanding that home workouts are fantastic and they're efficient and you can get fantastic results by working out at home. But of course, at a gym facility, you know, you've got the environment, you've got all the machines, the weights. Of course, probably, I wouldn't say that's going to be better, but it's going to be probably very beneficial to you and your physique and your particular goal. So hopefully these top 10 tips help you with home workouts. There still needs to be some kind of understanding that, you know, in a gym facility, you know, you're also going to get incredible results. Number 2 is understanding your specific goal in relation to these 10 tips. So hopefully it's going to provide some value, it's going to provide some education, but at the same time, if you're watching this video right now, your fitness goal is going to be very different to someone else's fitness goal. And of course, you as an individual are going to be very different to somebody else's individual. So I'm talking gender, age, experience as well. If your goal is fat loss or muscle gain, it's completely different. So just keep in mind those 2 things. Number 1 is adapting to a situation. So guys, we are humans. Like, that's what we do. Like, we adapt to situation. Whatever is thrown at us, firstly, we have to respond to it. You know, people respond in different ways. Some people are like, shit, like, I don't know what to do. Some people are like, cool, calm and collective. You know, there's a different response with everyone, but we've got to adapt to the situation. And the same applies with a home workout. So, of course, when the situation first happened and we had to do kind of home workouts, you know, everybody responded differently. When I talk about adapting to a situation in reflection to being without a gym, you know, I'm talking training, nutrition, steps, your sleep, your daily routine is going to completely change. You might not be traveling to and from work. So everything has got to change and you've got to find like a routine that's going to work for yourself. Point number 2 is structure, and that follows really nicely from point number 1 because, you know, ask yourself, when are you training throughout the day? Are you training in the morning before you work? Are you training in the afternoon? You know, if you're self-employed, are you just training throughout the day, giving yourself an hour or 2? You know, when are you training? In a gym facility, you would text your friends saying, you know, I'll meet you at the gym 5:30 after work. So you know exactly what you're doing on that specific day. You have all your kit ready. Whereas if you're at home, it's completely different. You know, you do have a lot more time, which is fantastic. But when are you going to have time to train? Are you actually going to make that time to train? What happens if you get to 5 o'clock and you think, nah, I can't be bothered? So that's a fundamental point. If you want to stay in shape without a gym, you know, you've got to do the same things that you would be doing in the gym, but of course out the gym. FYI, I actually train in the middle of the day, get my pre-workout in, and I train either upper or lower. Number 3 is alternatives. So if you've got minimal equipment like myself, dumbbell, bands, that's it, a couple of cuffs, that's all I've got. You've got to find alternatives to the gym facility, and of course you're not going to find everything. So, you know, when I do a leg day, I use a hack squat, barbell squat, barbell RDLs, split lunges, a lying hamstring curl. You know, I haven't got access to those at home in my flat, so I've got to find alternatives for these specific exercises. And that's exactly what you've got to do to stay in shape at home without a gym, because you've got to look at your split. Say you're doing a push-pull legs, you know, find the exercises that you potentially would be doing. Okay, how can I replicate that at home? Luckily, if you've got dumbbells at home, you know, you could do a dumbbell chest press to make it harder. You could add some resistant bands. So in that case, you can, you know, kind of make do. But of course, you've got to find alternatives for all of your exercises. Use this time as well to really broaden your knowledge and your education. That's something that I've done myself as a personal trainer and online coach, to really kind of be chucked in at the deep end to enable myself to learn. So the same for your training as well. You know, if your goal is fat loss or it's weight loss, you know, and you haven't got access to the Stairmaster to do your cardio, how else are you going to get your cardio in? Are you going to do steps? Are you going to do, if you're going to go out for a run, are you going to do extra HIIT sessions throughout the week and you add in extra sessions? There's so much you can do to really kind of achieve your specific goal and stay in shape without a gym. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe. Videos coming every single Sunday, 7 p.m. And if you're watching this right now, I'm releasing a ab workout with weights. It's going to be a follow along session. It's either going to be Wednesday or Thursday, UK time at like kind of 7 o'clock. Hit that subscribe button and get a notification when it goes live. Number 4 is being as creative as possible, which follows along my last point very, very nicely. There's some fantastic guys on Instagram and YouTube that you can follow that, they use foam rollers, they use bands, they use dumbbells to create some fantastic exercises that potentially you didn't even think about. So use this time as well. Just be as creative as possible. Do what you can. Recently, I've been putting in kind of foam roller wall squats. Foam roller behind my back, a band around kind of my neck, alongside onto my heels. And it's a very, very tough movement. It's fantastic for my quads. Would I be doing it in gym facility? 100% not. Will I be taking that movement into the gym? Potentially, because it's a fantastic movement. It could be a fantastic finisher. So it's things like that you can kind of think about. And you have extra time throughout the day. Use half an hour free to do a little bit of research, to watch someone's YouTube video or Instagram video, take their ideas and implement it to your own training. Number 5 is a massive one, and that is intensity. If you have minimal equipment at home, the best way to kind of match what you'd be doing at the gym is intensity. What I mean by intensity is adding in supersets, going to failure, half reps, pause reps, muscle rounds, anything you can think of to really match the intensity. So once you finish that specific set or the session as a whole, you're literally just laying on the ground, or your just legs are fried, your arms are fried, you're feeling the burn. Of course, it's not going to be as good as progressively overloading in the gym, for sure, 100% not. However, you've just got to match what you'd be doing in the gym at home, and the way you can do that is by intensity. To reflect it back onto myself and my own training, because I'm trying to give as much value and education in this YouTube video, is I don't normally utilize supersets that often in a gym facility. However, at home, that's pretty much all I do. I do supersets and I do triceps, which is 3 exercises together, because if I was to do one set of 12 to 15 reps, yeah, it's okay, but it's not as good as doing a superset. At the end of a superset, putting 2 exercises together, I feel absolutely fantastic in a really weird and sick way, but I kind of like it. I like that feeling, and it's the same at the gym. So if your intensity is not there and you finish a session thinking like, yeah, that was right, like, you're probably not working hard enough, and I mean that in no disrespect. But if you go to a gym, normally when you finish the gym, you're feeling absolutely destroyed. You've got to be feeling like that at a home workout. Number 6 is planning the session. So you're 10 minutes into your workout and you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, what can I do now? Like, what can I add in? You add something in and you're like, oh, actually, I already did a variation of that. And you end up kind of just like losing a bit of faith in the session. It puts you in a bad mood, and then the next day you don't want to train, and the rest of the week you don't want to train. You could easily get out of shape within 2 or 3 weeks because your training isn't consistent. You're not training at high intensity, as I spoke about a second ago, and you just kind of have no idea what you're doing. You could easily fall into that trap. So what I would do, and I'm a massive fan of this, is planning your week and planning the session. And you don't necessarily have to plan the exact exercise. You can chuck things in if you want to, as I spoke about a few points ago, being as creative as possible. However, you need to have some kind of style and some kind of plan. For myself, I'm doing upper and lower 3 times a week. I know exactly some of the exercises that I'm starting with, and then towards the end of the session, I'm going to chuck some new things in. Don't have to do the same session all the time. However, you've got to have some kind of plan in place. Number 7 is contraction and range of motion. I have no idea why I just kind of pulled my arm back, but you know exactly what I mean. If there is ever an important time to really focus on those 2 points, now would be the time, because we haven't got the gym, we haven't got the weights, we haven't got anything like that. So we've got to really put a lot of focus into the contraction and into the full range of motion. So by that, what I mean is, let's say you're doing a high row with bands. If you're not kind of fully straight in this kind of arm with a slight bend at the top and actually working on your lat and your rhomboids, and when you drive back, you're not coming back and you're squeezing, you know, because we're not putting on muscle, we've got to really put all the focus onto maintaining what we have at the moment. So if you stop doing those things, then of course you're not going to lose loads and loads of muscle, but it's not going to be beneficial to you and your kind of physique. And that applies to any movement, any goal, any individual. You know, they're two massive ones. Make sure you fully lengthen and fully shorten a muscle group. Number 8 is ticking those boxes. So this kind of falls under the routine and the structure and the planning of the week and the day. But if you're not ticking your boxes, again, you're going to fall into that trap of just slowly slipping away, because when we first started doing home workouts, the first 2 weeks were very difficult. I've openly spoken about that with myself, actually finding the transition very difficult because it's not what we're used to in the gym. So you got past the first 2 weeks and then you kind of pick up a little bit in the three or 4 weeks. And now we're in the position where, you know, if you're still not kind of ticking those boxes and you're still not going to find that structure in the routine, it's going to be very, very difficult to achieve what you want to achieve. If you're dipping in some days and dipping out on other days, you know, firstly, it's fantastic. You're still doing something, but I would kind of create some kind of box to tick as such, whether it's workout or it's your nutrition or it's your steps. You know, you getting the right amount of fruit and veg into your diet? Are you hitting your 10,000 steps? You know, this is where accountability really comes in handy, whether it's for yourself, accountability with friends, a partner, a coach. You know, start looking at those kind of options as well. Number 9 is nutrition, and there's a few points I want to make in regards to nutrition. The first one is, it's very easy to have the mindset or create the mindset of, I'm training hard at the gym, I've got to be eating well at home. But then at home workouts, if you're not quite feeling it and you haven't got that intensity there and you're not working as hard as possible, your nutrition will seriously fall away. And I'm talking, you know, your essential protein, I'm talking your fruit and veg in your diet, I'm talking about getting a significant amount of fibre in there. I'm talking, you know, not going crazy over your calorie intake, which is very possible. And it also kind of reflects onto, you know, not doing as much activity throughout the day as well. So, you know, you could easily put on weight that potentially you didn't think was possible. If you're working a job and you're standing around all day, or you're doing some steps and you're working out and your trainer's on point and you're prepping your food, if you strip that all away and then don't have no routine, start eating just all over the place and anything that you can find in the cupboard because you're at home, you're not doing as much activity, you know, it's very easy to put on weight. And you know, when you think about calories in, calories out, you know, that's something that I'd really kind of consider. So make sure your nutrition, you know, you don't have to eat chicken, rice and broccoli every single day, but just make sure, guys, you have it kind of on point, and you can kind of tick those boxes, the fruit and veg, the protein, the water as well. Tick those boxes and you'll be absolutely fine. Number 10, and if you've made it this far to the video, congratulations, I salute you. Leave a comment if you have enjoyed this video, of course, but number 10 is understanding this is only the short term. If you're very, very serious about your fitness goals, if you're very, very serious about staying in shape, then this period should only be seen as a short-term goal. Like, if you're really, really serious about your goals, the long term will always be there. If you're serious about getting results, if you're serious about fat loss, if you're serious about muscle gain, you know, this will come and go. Like, this is fine. We adapt to situation. You know, some people really use this time to get in a fantastic shape and fantastic shape of their lives, because, you know, they've got so much more time. Financially, they might be a little bit better off by not traveling to and from work and saving some costs and other things. So this is the time to invest into a coach, invest into your own actual kind of physique and body. But mentally, think about this as, you know, this is only 4 or 5 months. Once this is gone, okay, where do we go? If you start implementing positive actions, positive habits right now, you know, you're going to be winning in the long term. And on the same side, like if you're struggling with home workouts, if you're struggling with your nutrition, that's fine. Just kind of hang in there. Understand it's only for the short term. You know, just do enough so when gym's finally open and that's what you enjoy, that you can make that transition straight into the gym. So that's it, guys. That's my top 10 tips on how to stay in shape without a gym. I hope this video has been of some use. Drop a comment below if it has. Of course, hit that subscribe button for videos coming every single Sunday, 7 p.m. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.